welcome back to Sarah's Table. Tonight we are going to be doing some weird stuff. That's the intro. We talked about doing really awkward intros, so I thought I would kick us off by doing an awkward intro. In case you are new here, I'm Sarah Moore. My pronouns are she, her. I'm going to be your host tonight, and I'm going to be your favorite person. And I'm going to remind you to drink some water because I guarantee that you are probably dehydrated. Mm-hmm. You are. I can just tell. Just take a sip. It's great. Tonight I did, was sort of my MO, which is just like bamboozling a friend of mine to come on the show with a game that they have made. Yeah, like I would apologize, but I'm not sorry. I think this is just what my show is now. I just like find people who make games and I am friends with, and then I'm just like, I need you to show up at this time and bring it. And that's kind of
I feel like
we do. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to examine my life choices a little. I don't know what's happening here, but like, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Tonight we are playing Dead After Dinner, which I think is sort of like if Knives Out and Fiasco had a baby. And it's a weird baby, and we're all going to look at it extensively.
Yeah.
Oh, we're continuing the awkwardness. Man.
We're very on brand.
We're so on brand. It's so good. Thanks, everyone, for being here today. Before I introduce you to my poor victims for tonight, I'm going to do a quick safety discussion. I think it is very important, especially in a game about what could potentially be really intense family drama, to find out where everybody's lines and veils are at the table. Here on Sarah's Table, you will never find sexual violence, violence against children, or withholding food as punishment or starvation. Is there anything else that my friends at the table would like to avoid tonight?
I know. Be emotionally traumatized in a consensual way.
Whoa!
I trust you, Sarah.
Oh,
take us places.
We're going to take all of you places that you never thought you'd go. Ta-da! So let's go around the table. I'm going to start with the designer of the game, my friend Jen. Tell us who you are. What's going on?
Hello, I'm Jenn Martin. I use she, her pronouns. I made this game. Yeah, that's me. I make very small games, and they're usually on cards so far. And I mostly just make them for myself, and other people seem to have fun with them. So I'll take it.
Heck yeah. Nailed it. That wasn't even awkward. I'm kind of disappointed.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
do it again, but worse.
In about 15 more seconds of awkward pauses and uncertainty. So
yeah.
We'll just retake it. Okay.
Well, okay. Well, Faye, I know you're going to give it to us.
Hi. Yes, good. Well, hello. I am Faye, and
give it to us, Faye.
And yes, I'm all cool. Do I say my handle on the internet? I don't know, but hi, I'm here to play because Sarah asked me to be here. So
bring in the joy. Faye is bringing the joy. Thank you, Faye.
You're welcome. And I delivered on awkwardness. Thank you.
You really did. I'm so proud.
Let's see how red Faye can get by the end of this game.
Listen, all I have to do is smile and my entire face gets red. So it's not hard.
Yang Yang?
Hey, I'm Yang Wang. I am a game writer, and I also play Dungeons & Dragons on the Twitch channel Dungeon Scrawlers.
Man, there's so many questions that I want to bring up with what's going on in the gaming community with the OGL and all of the craziness. But we're not going to do that on stream because it's not that kind of show. It's not that show.
Yeah, it'd be bad awkward, maybe.
We'll do it. We'll do that later.
Kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
We'll do that
good.
in the debriefing.
in the debrief, we'll let all of our feelings out. So this game We are playing through this new thing that you were seeing on the screen. I don't know if it's new or if it's been there the whole time because I'm not looking at the screen. Hi. We're back to awkward.
Good.
Thumbs
I
up.
hope you don't put any music.
No
underneath
music.
this.
Oh, I don't ever have any music. No,
Good.
it's just awkward pauses.
It's just silence. Good.
Just silence. Beep, 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 beep.
Just like a real
sometimes I
family
provide
dinner.
my own music by making strange noises. And by sometimes I mean all the time. So we have this interface, which is a story synth, which you can use to play the game for free right now. Not right now. Watch us first and then go do it. But at the start here, it says you are invited. The aging patriarch of your family has uncharacteristically invited everyone to dinner. He told you that he's made significant changes to his will and will read it after dinner. So the four of us are here to get our hands on that sweet, sweet will and hope that we are still in it.
Mhm.
All right. Let's see what happens.
Right. I'm just going to start. So these are the instruction cards. Welcome to Dead After Dinner. Click on next card to move through the instructions. You can add your names to the player turn order, which I've already done. And then if you want to change player turn order, you just click on a name and it makes that one bold and it pretends that it's your turn now. So nice and easy. So I'm going to click on next card and Sarah can read that one.
Players should take turns reading them out loud. The instruction cards, they will teach you how to play. Ooh, I did it.
Nailed it.
Okay. Faye.
Oh my God. Okay. Prompt cards. Take turns drawing prompt cards and answering them. Other players can ask follow-up questions. You can bring in NPCs, but try to point most of your answers at other players. Ooh, shared knowledge of the family.
Oh.
Taking care. At any time, for any reason, a player can click on Menu, X card, to remove something from the game. If a card prompt feels wrong or doesn't apply, skip it this way. If a whole prompt card is removed this way, the player who drew it should draw again.
Excellent. I like that there is a safety discussion, sort of safety mechanics built into play. That's nice.
On purpose. Resentment. Each character has resentment, which represents their feelings towards the patriarch and family. You start with 1 and can have a negative number. Cards instruct you to modify your own resentment or ask another player to do so. You can track this with the plus and minus buttons in the resentment box in Story Synth. Unfortunately, because of sort of a limitation of Story Synth, I just have the list of all the possible characters. But once we draw character cards, then I'll sort of edit our names so we know we can keep track of who is who.
Cool. Phases. There are 5 phases in the game. Story Synth handles this on its own. But in case you're curious, characters, dinner, the will, murder, and questioning.
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry. I should have said that.
What?
Also spoilers. Murder.
Oh my goodness. There are 5 different murder cards. Story Synth will draw one randomly.
If we draw all 5, does it mean we get to kill
Is there all of the
him
murder?
5 times?
Or
Amazing.
should we all
Different
begin
ways.
to murder each other?
Please.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with Story Synth, no, it'll only draw 1, but we can pretend that we drew all 5.
I feel like there's like that was definitely a movie, right? Where they like 4 or 5 different people tried to kill one dude and like
I feel like I vaguely remember that movie.
right, like
It's
someone
from, like,
poisoned him and one stabbed him and one like
Yeah.
It's a very famous one involving
Is
a
it
train.
Yeah, is it
Oh,
like
yeah. Yeah.
Midnight on the
Orient Express.
Orient Express, yes, it's the
There you go.
Agatha Christie novel where they all wanted to do the murder.
Great.
Yes, good.
Thanks for coming with us, everyone at home.
It's a journey.
As we very like we were like, that's something.
What's the
That's
thing? Yeah, cool. And then spend 5 minutes. It's fine.
beep beep beep.
We're all content creators. So good. I'm so glad we're so good at this.
Jazz hands. Okay.
The last card. The whodunit card is approximately halfway through the prompted cards for a game between 1 to 2 hours. For a faster game, you can click on the next card button to skip forward. To trigger the ending card, click on Menu, then go to last card.
if any one of us is just done.
Just
Just
finished. I am
finished.
finished.
I can't be here anymore.
Don't
We've been doing this
click
for
on it.
8
Don't-
hours.
Don't click on it right now. Yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of gameplay. in.
Yeah, that would kind of mess things up a little bit. Who done it? Being the murderer is opt in. If your resentment is below 0 or 0 when you are the last card is drawn, you're definitely innocent. The who done it card will give players choices based on who has the highest and lowest resentment, the highest and lowest positive resentment.
Did I catch Yang saying I opt in? Did you just okay?
Yeah, just sign right there.
Lighting that
I'm
up.
in.
I opt in.
Yeah. Well, start by drawing characters. Answer the question on the card and pick a name if you want. Once every player has drawn a character, 8 possible, StorySynth deals out 4. Click on the next card button until you get to the next deck.
Oh, is this me?
This is you.
Is this who I am? Oh my goodness.
This is who you are.
Oh,
I'm the new spouse
yes.
of the patriarch.
Ooh
so,
la la.
oh my god, wait, this is hilarious. Okay. What pet name does the patriarch call you and why do you hate it? That's interesting. Something I hate being called. Something like sugar or something like that. I hate that.
Wait,
I
are
hate
you
it already.
are you suggesting that like you are you in real life? Like the patriarch has married Faye in real life?
Yeah, well, you know what? In order to really feel in character, I have to actually like be irked by whatever the word is, and it's like it can't be
gotcha.
babe. I like babe.
Sure.
So like, but like someone being like sugar, I'm like no. Like 99% of the time, that is weird and gross.
Okay.
So
Cool.
because I
The new
have
spouse.
to.
Sugar.
Choose if you
Sugar.
want to add 1 to or
Oh.
subtract 1 from your resentment.
That's interesting. I think. Well, okay. So I have a question. So like, I have to hate the pet name, right? Like that's part of the card.
Yes,
Mhm.
correct.
Okay. But that doesn't mean I have to hate my spouse.
That's true.
Yes.
I think I actually will subtract 1.
Oh,
I have a thought brewing, so I'm gonna go with that.
I have a
and see what
question.
happens.
Character arc starting.
I have a
Yeah.
question about your character. What is the age gap here?
Large, I think.
Large.
I'm thinking like this is if this is like, especially if this is like an older like patriarch in the family, I'm imagining that like I am probably the same age or younger than the eldest child.
Excellent.
Nice.
Okay, great.
That's I was like that's this very specific trope. I'm gonna do that one.
Lean in. We love it. All right.
So cool.
Oh, grandchild.
Mm.
Okay. So I am the grandchild of the patriarch. What is the first gift the patriarch ever gave me? And then I subtract 1 from my resentment. I think the first gift that the patriarch ever gave me is Buns of Steel, the workout
The
video.
workout video?
I thought
Yeah.
I thought you were meant like genetically.
Hereditarily.
No.
And it's like grandpa's got quite the butt.
I mean, you would know. I mean, if you want to share that fact with the rest of us.
Listen.
Yes. Start it now.
Yeah. But grandpa
When
had
did
never been
he
happy
give
with
you
me.
This gift.
I want to say like really young, maybe like somewhere late middle school, early high school. Because
What age
he
are
always,
you now?
Your age.
Yeah.
You
So
are
I
the
wanna-
same age as the grandchild.
Yeah.
Like,
How about I'm 24?
yeah.
Oh no.
Like we're both just out of school, maybe like don't quite know enough about the world, real optimistic. And
That's hilarious.
I think he gave me Buns of Steel because he always wanted me to follow in his footsteps as some sort of athlete, and I was just never gifted that way. And he always thought it was my glutes that were holding me back.
Your butt is not up to
Wow.
par. If you would just tighten it up, you could go places, kid.
Grandpa, that's That's inappropriate.
Well, you can't say that.
This, I, in my brain, he gave it to you on VHS.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This is like old, like when it first came out, not like it didn't send you a link on YouTube.
Yeah, like a worn copy of Buns of Steel.
It's his own version.
This is the one I used when I was your age.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then he's always showing me like his results, and I'm like, I don't want to see it, Grandpa.
Like, Grandpa, please.
Stop it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh man, why?
No one wants to see
I
that.
like that made you subtract a resentment.
Secretly,
He's just looking out
it's
for you.
come in use.
Oh.
I tried the tape, and secretly, it's come in use, and maybe people have often, my girlfriend currently has complimented me on my derriere, and I'm like,
Wow. All right.
Maybe he knew what he
Begrudgingly.
was talking about.
exactly.
You're like,
Grudgingly appreciate.
in his own weird way.
Grandpa built an empire on his ass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on now.
All right. Amazing.
Oh, sorry.
I'm the ex-spouse of the patriarchy. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh
Did
no,
I cut
you
you
see,
off?
yeah, you
I'm
see.
Yeah.
sorry.
No, wait, go back. 'Cause
I think that you're the youngest
you're
child.
youngest
Oh,
child.
I'm the youngest child. We clicked at the same time.
Sorry.
Awkward. No, I'm sorry.
We're keeping it on theme today.
Yeah.
I'm
Cool.
excited about the
Youngest
fact that
child.
the next card is
I know,
ex-spouse,
know.
though.
Youngest child of patriarch. What pet did the patriarch give you that he never allowed anyone else?
Oh,
He
Ooh.
absolutely bought me a pony when I was like inadvisably young to
Yeah.
have a pony.
Yeah, yeah.
Like 5 years old, right? Like
Yeah.
a full pony, not like a mini pony.
The kind
it
of
was
thing that a 5-year-old
exorbitantly
asks for,
expensive.
and then he was like,
Exactly.
okay. And you're like,
Exactly. Precisely. And he
Call your
just
bluff,
gave-
kid.
Yes.
he attached a horn to it because you
Precisely.
actually asked for a unicorn.
surgically implanted. He was like, I got enough money. We'll put it on there. Youngest child.
So I get to subtract 1 from my resentment.
I like how so far we actually are all like on pretty good terms.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
Listen,
true.
don't worry. I'm coming in.
That's not gonna last.
Coming
You're
in
not. All right. I don't want to click. I'm gonna not click anything. We're
No,
gonna let-
you're up. You go ahead.
Okay. Beep, beep, beep. Clicking forward. Ex-spouse of the patriarch. What did the patriarch insist on getting in the divorce?
I misread that as what did they insist on? Like, why did they insist on getting
Oh, why did they
divorced?
insist on getting it?
Which is also hot goss, but is a
Yeah.
very different question.
We're allowed to ask questions.
Yeah. Weirdly, the patriarch insisted on getting full custody of the kids, not because he wanted the custody, because I wanted the custody.
Yeah.
So he took it away from me.
Mhm.
I'm adding 1 to my resentment.
Yep.
That's a good call. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
So why did you get divorced?
Oh, I aged.
Ah, how dare.
Guys, it was really, I mean, truthfully, incredibly like audacious of me, really, to just like continue with.
How dare
time.
the progress of time weigh upon your shoulders?
Thinking.
Was there like a hint of sugar coming into the picture before you got divorced?
I don't think Sugar is the most recent. I mean,
like that that's her name now. This is hilarious.
Sugar. Sugar is.
This is
the
what you all call her, like
Sure.
to each other. I don't know if you call that to her face, but that's
Well,
what you all say.
I feel like there's there was me, who is the mother of the children, and then there was I think Honey came next, and then there was and then Sweetness, I think, was one of them, and then Sugar. So it's really just getting rid of them as time marches on.
It's a very like Leonardo DiCaprio situation, where it's like as they get to like 26, you're like,
you
can't
catch a
talk
certain
anymore.
like I mean I feel like Sugar, maybe you should be nervous that if he makes it through this
that it's like next week's my birthday.
Yeah, you're
Ooh,
like
yeah.
real close to
25 is his.
that's his cutoff.
Yeah.
Which maybe gives you a reason to bump him off if he's changed the will, because otherwise you're out of there.
That's a good point. Add 1 to my resentment.
I know it doesn't say anything in the cards, but I'm adding another one.
I add
Yeah,
3
that
more.
seems fair.
Do we have? Is it weird that I have triple digits in resentment? Is that too high? Is that how high does it
How
go?
high is the average resentment score?
I feel like maybe I'm playing it wrong. I don't.
When I play tested it, I didn't actually use
genuine
resentment
answer.
originally. It was there was 2 sort of roles. You could be the most likely to be the murderer and the least likely, and that was sort of fun. But also, like, it's hard to sort of pass those around and design around just those 2 sort of states. And also, I found in play that it's really fun to just add to that or lower it occasionally if the moment calls for it.
Everyone's got that thing. Everyone's got something where they're like,
Yeah. If
This is
you
something that
only
sucks.
add from it's almost like we have like a lot of collective family baggage.
What?
oh my
That's very
God.
weird.
There are only a limited number of cards we will draw, so you probably won't get to double digits. But like, I mean, if that sounds aspirational, be my guest.
How long
Perfect.
could
Let's
you play
go.
this game for if you wanted to? If you wanted to have like the most prolonged game.
The most awkward
Yeah.
family dinner.
The
Yeah.
most awkward. It would take a little bit of doing in story synth because I've specifically there's like a little
Sure, you've
field
programmed
where
it
I tell
specifically.
it how many to draw. But I think there's probably about 20 or so non sort of character prompt cards that don't get drawn. So yeah, you could just play through the whole deck and end up, and there's some real fun ones in there that I hope we get to see. I do have favorites. So yeah.
I want to hear, if we don't, I want to hear about
Okay.
at least one of them at the end.
Well,
Ditto.
okay, so I
The
can tell you about
spiciest.
favorite. I can tell you.
No,
about
no,
favorite
don't. In
characters.
case it comes up, don't
Favorite
tell.
character.
Okay.
Oh,
character.
okay.
Okay.
Character, because we're
Characters,
not like
So-
we've already decided. Yes, good.
Correct. So the eldest child always gets their question is like, how did the patriarch make his money? Right? Because you're the eldest
Oh.
child, you get to
Nice.
decide.
Because you're like
there-
taking over the family business kind of a
Correct.
thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
There is, in addition to the grandchild, there's other grandchild,
Oh no.
and that one is not favored. That one just gets to add resentment. And then the one that I'm most proud of is the middle child. There is no prompt for the middle child. It just says move on to the next player.
Oh.
Oh, no,
Amazing.
it's so sad.
Oh.
Amazing.
Do they get to go add 3 resentment?
Yeah, but
You
towards
actually
the
get to
game
add
maker
2.
specifically.
Yeah.
Oh,
too,
that's so
yeah.
funny. Could
Oh,
you
that's
play with
hilarious.
all of the family? Could you do all 8? Or would you not recommend that?
You could do all 8. The game would probably go maybe faster because you'd sort of
Because you're
each
just going
player would
through
have
so many
fewer
cards.
cards. And there is only, I think there's only 6 or 7 will cards. So like if you played with 8, somebody just doesn't
Someone's
get to
getting
answer
out.
one of those questions.
Someone's out of that will.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's maybe all of us, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
He
do
left it
have-
all to Buns of Steel.
I do
don't
have,
need it
on the
all to
itch
this,
page,
like, program that's not around anymore.
the itch page has print and play cards, and it is sort of my intention to prototype out print cards sometime this year, but we'll see.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. What's next?
Oh, do I hit the button?
You can hit the button. Yeah.
Hit that button.
Oh my goodness.
I hope it's
dinner.
dinner.
We're into the new phase.
Yes.
Oh no. I fought with the patriarch before dinner. Who overheard? Character who overheard me choose to add 1 to theirs. Okay. I think, let's see, if we've got the youngest child, we've got the ex-spouse, and we've got the grandchild. What a eclectic bunch we have at our dinner. I say, I think that we were we don't have to say what we're fighting about, do I? Unless you guys ask, I guess.
We
Okay.
might ask, but you don't have to.
Sure, that's okay. I think that
It was a private conversation, Faye.
yeah, thank you. The only person who would know is who overheard, which I think I'm gonna go with Sarah. I'm gonna go with ex-spouse. I think that that's got the most drama of what's going on there. I was torn because I just kind of wanted to give Yang Yang more resentment because I know it's your dream to be the murderer.
It is my dream. It is.
Okay.
I gotta know, Sugar, what were you fighting about?
I think that this is good. I think we're fighting about like his health. I think that she is like, you need to take better care of yourself and blah, 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 blah. We've been talking about like this thing, or like she's been bugging him about doing some program of some sort or some type of like
some diet,
like yeah,
keto or something.
Yeah, something that like, or like they went to an appointment or something like that, and like the doctor was like, you need to start eating this way, or something that she's like nagging him about, and he's like, I don't want to hear it again. Like this is obviously like a recurring conversation that they have, that probably got sparked by like what's being served at dinner or something like that.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna probably add resentment to that as well. Because I think maybe if it's what's being served at dinner, I bet that I had a hand in deciding what was being served at dinner because I think the children like were all like, but Mom, like he always makes us eat this stuff, and like Sugar makes us eat this really gross, and she doesn't let us have any salt, and like it's gross. Like and so I like
Sugar's like eating like a single piece of melon.
We're always hungry. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So
Sugar's from LA, and she believes that just basking in the sun for 3 hours a day is enough food for anybody.
There's some sort of like raw juice diet that
I'm like in really good shape, so I don't know what to tell you.
Like whenever I get out of my Pilates, it's great.
Yeah, she also like is like in like some kind of yoga outfit.
I'm sure.
Nice. Lululemon.
And it's not like a modest one, shall we say? Either no. It's very like, you know, one that you're like, I'm gonna go running in like 80-degree weather, except it's maybe like 65 out.
Oh, gotcha.
She was not running.
I think there was a quip made when the ex-spouse got there about how this isn't the Playboy Mansion, Roderick. Like, because clearly his name is Roderick because he comes from super old money, and like they all have stupid names like Roderick. Yeah.
Can we assign resentment to each other?
Okay, no, you resent that.
Yeah.
That's the expansion.
The expansion is called Resentment for Everyone, and we just make it rain. All right, great.
Goodness.
Oh, do I have to click next? Am I clicking next?
Click it next.
Yes,
okay.
Please.
Whoa, I hate the Patriarch. Who does it bring me closer to? Oh, and then I get to add 2 to my resentment. Yes.
Yeah. Look at you.
I'm so happy for you, Yang Yang.
Dreams do come true.
You needed this win.
I do. Yes. Coming out hot. I think this brings me closer to Sarah because
we're bonding over.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what? A lot of the time, kids pick a parent in a divorce.
It's true. Grandma's,
Totally.
I guess you're a grandkid, but,
yeah. Well, Grandma's way better than Grandpa. Grandpa, all he does is like.
Wait,
I bet he doesn't let you call him Grandpa either.
Yeah.
No. He's
like,
always making me call him
like
like
uncle.
Sport or Tiger or like one of those stupid like old timey names.
Yes.
And I think you're the only one. So I think the rest of the family, like in the in between generation, are like okay with him or at least like kissing his butt all the time. And you're the only one, Sarah, that can like openly express your disdain.
Legitimately
and so
the worst.
Wait,
Yes.
So question 2, who is your parent? Because you're a grandchild, so it's gotta be one of the children.
Yeah.
Is Jenn your mom?
I mean,
You know
I'm
what,
the
Jen?
youngest child, which I feel like maybe implies that there is an eldest child who maybe just couldn't join us for dinner for some reason, which may come up later if you want. Otherwise, I could be. It's up to you.
I mean, in the interest of like making this more awkward, like, hey, Jen, do you want to be my mom?
I would love to be your mom, Yang Yang. I just met you, and I would love to.
Yeah. So Jen is now my mom.
Yay!
Incredible.
Wonderful.
And
love it.
and she's always like kissing his butt like in front of me, and I'm like, she's talking smack about him behind his back, but she's always kissing those steel buns in front of me, and I'm like, Mom.
So embarrassing.
Yeah. Why don't you just be honest, with him?
Yeah.
They were also fighting. That's why they didn't overhear our fight, is that they were around the corner.
Is that they were fighting?
Oh,
I heard
yeah.
both. I was just in the middle hearing everybody's trouble. I'm going to let you have both of those resentments, Yang Yang, because I would take one. Because it's either you add two or you and the other character each add one. So you take both.
Okay. I'm not both. I need therapy. Thank you for listening to me.
You really need therapy. I think I probably...
That's the real expansion pack of this.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I would bet Grandpa would super look down on any of the men in his family going into therapy.
Yeah. Nobody's as good as Grandpa. Nobody can live up to his legacy.
Well, and also, why do you need therapy? Just do buns of steel and you'll be
just
fine.
do buns of steel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Just work out more and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Just pop this videotape into your VCR that you clearly have in your house.
That's what Sugar was doing when you got there. She was doing the buns of steel.
Because you have to. You have to. It's a requirement.
I was like, I don't understand this. There's so many better things.
Why am I doing this?
Makes him happy, I guess.
He just has so much money. I'll keep doing it. Beep, 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 beep.
Beep, beep, beep. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, accurate. All right. The Patriarch had a portrait painted of someone since I was here last. Who is the subject, and where is the painting hung?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think embarrassingly, the painting is of me, and I didn't know it was happening, and it is a surprise to me.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's me and like the horse, who by now is dead.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Oh.
So it's
picture
you
of you
still
all.
like as he sees you, which is like basically as a child.
Kind of a kid, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's real bad. And it's hung like behind him at the head of the table. So we can't
not see it.
It's just there, literally hanging over us.
What portrait used to be there? Because there clearly was
Nice.
Was a painting.
I think it originally was mom and dad, right? But after the divorce, I think he actually had a new one hung that was like the two dogs, which was kind of an insult because I think the dogs were originally mom's.
Yeah,
again,
they were. They absolutely were, but he took them in the divorce.
Yeah. And frankly, the sort of revolving door with his romantic partners really made, the timeline of getting new paintings painted by the time they'd be gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very busy portrait
guy. How long ago
guy.
did you guys get divorced? That's a big question. I feel like that I forgot to ask before. Is like, how long has it been?
I think it's probably been quite some time. I think the kids were young enough that we would need to have custody issues.
Right? And they're all at least old enough to be having kids now. So. Well,
and they're old enough to be having, grandchildren are like in their mid-20s.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think we're probably Patriarch and Matriarch are probably in their 60s, although I think he's probably older because he likes younger, right? So maybe he's in his 80s and I'm in my mid 60s, and we've been divorced probably for 20 years at least. he held on to me till I was in my 40s and then was like, that's enough. And pushed on.
Okay. So it's a long time.
So
All right.
I get to subtract 1 from my resentment, and y'all get to add 1.
We added
Ooh.
1.
Welcome.
Yes.
Like, why wasn't it of me though?
Why did you get rid of the one of the dogs? You could have at least given me the portrait if that's what we're. Every time.
He like got rid of the dogs too. He didn't even keep them.
Oh no, I'm
Oh.
sure. Yeah, I think he probably gave them away. We don't know what happened to them.
No, Papa.
Sad.
Yeah. He's a terrible man.
He does not sound great.
Oh, I hate the Patriarch.
Let's see
Frickin'
let's see
Roderick.
why I hate him. Let's find out why I hate him. I'm gonna move forward.
So is the idea about this that like we're all eating dinner right now? That's what's happening, is that we're all sitting and like while we're kind of talking and, you know, exchanging small talk or like having weird, awkward conversations, these are all the things that we're thinking about of like, oh, that painting's right there. And we all kind of look at it at different times being like, and like, interesting. Yes. I dig that. Yes. Okay, cool.
All right. I arrived in the middle of dinner instead of beforehand. What is your excuse and who doesn't buy it? I think that I said I was checking on our other children.
Or adults who can take care of themselves.
Absolutely. So I feel like I think he probably doesn't believe that excuse. Probably because it's what I say all the time now. Like,
it's just like the go-to like response of like, well, I was taking care of our children.
Right, because you don't. Because you don't. So I was checking on them. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I just added another resentment. I have to tell you, it's higher than I anticipated already.
Are you at 3 now?
I'm at 5.
Oh, wow, incredible.
Goodness gracious. You really hate this guy. I mean, you are the ex-spouse. That makes sense, actually.
Oh my God.
He took my dogs. He took my children. He got rid of me because I got old. Like, come on, guys. Yeah. He's the worst.
He is the worst.
All right.
Oh, I keep forgetting. I'm always expecting someone else to hit the button, and I don't want to like double click through the buttons, so I never remember that it's my turn to do it. Okay.
Sorry.
I love the Patriarch.
Oh, wow, perfect.
So, who does it distance you from? Well, I feel like a lot of people.
Everyone. Pew, 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 pew.
So let's see. I will say, and how does the Patriarch feel about them? Okay. Well, I hate to give more to Sarah.
Gimme.
Just do it. Let's go.
We just need to get into double digits with someone.
One day I'll get to a 10. It's gonna be great.
Well, I'm trying to think of like I just don't feel like it really makes sense with either Jenn or with Yang because like, you know, he's got a portrait of Jenn. Yep. And he gives sweet buns of steel to
you guys can bond over having both done buns of steel.
He gave me his best trait. Yeah.
And I don't think that I think that from what I've gathered, Yang's annoyance with like his mom and like therefore his like aunts and or uncles is a lot of like being disingenuous with their feelings about it. And I would assume that at the very least he is like, I respect that you're genuine about this thing. I don't get it, but I respect it.
It's so weird, but okay.
I do think though that like and this kind of plays into the idea that I had about the sugar to begin with, is that like I do actually think that she really loves him. And so like
that's a plot twist for me.
And I think that like that really, really, really rubs Sarah the wrong way.
Yeah, I think maybe you're the only spouse since me to actually have feelings for him. Like genuine feelings.
Wow. Which makes me almost think like maybe she's a little bit older than like they normally get. Like, you know,
you've
that
gone
Maybe
past
like
the
maybe she
normal-
lasted into her 30s kind of a
yeah,
thing.
or like, you know, it normally is around about 25, 26. She's like almost 30. She's about to have like her 30th birthday or something like that. And so everyone's like, this is weird. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I can see that.
And yeah, and that like this is like the first like person who's come in that has not just been going for like his money specifically. So yeah, I think definitely that. But I think with
the
that
rest
in
of us
mind,
don't trust it because we're like, how could you possibly love this man?
Well,
Right.
look
What
at
about
him. He's
him?
terrible.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like you just don't get it. So I do think that instead of giving you more resentment, I think I'm actually going to subtract 2. I think that feels on brand
Nice.
for me.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Next, does somebody have a follow-up question, or should I move on?
I think we got it.
All right.
Oh wait. Well,
how does the patriarch
how
feel
does
about
the
them?
patriarch feel about? Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Of like, you know.
No, but you said that he's kept you around longer than the others, so maybe he's trying with you.
Yeah, I think.
Well, no, it's how does the patriarch feel about me?
Yes.
Sorry.
And I think that. Oh, this is interesting because I could make so many decisions here.
Do it.
I think that there is a little bit of tension that the two of us have, not, and from like Sugar's side, it's not actually because she's like jealous of having you around or whatever, like in terms of like, or like the jabs that you make at her, like she doesn't actually care. It's more about the fact that there are some times that he still will talk about you or reminisce about old times type of a deal that make Sugar uncomfortable. She's like, okay, cool. So like
he doesn't ever mention the other ex-wives.
No, never. It's just like, you know, and she, I think a couple of times has been like, you know what, it's the mother of his kids. And like, you know, obviously there's going to be some like feeling there and still, you know, and blah, 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 blah. But like, there's sometimes when he'll just be like, oh yeah, you know, back when, like one of the best days of his life is like when I met like Sarah or when I did this thing with her or whatever. And so there's definitely that like, okay.
I wonder if maybe that's why he was so brutal in the divorce, because he was trying to prove to like himself and everyone else that he didn't care.
Yeah.
Wow. We're getting into like real psychology.
I
with
love
this dude.
that. That's my favorite.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Roderick.
Oh, Roderick.
Oh, Roderick.
Roddy.
Who stares daggers at me during all of dinner? And why do I think they do so? Oh, interesting.
Oh.
I think my mama stares daggers at me all throughout dinner. I think Jenn stares daggers at me because there's something about the will and the inheritance that you want me to play a part of. Like you want me to butter him up or like act the part of the good grandchild.
Play nice.
Like you might like ruin it.
I've lost track of how many times I've told you how to behave around him and you never listen to me.
Yeah, maybe you tried to like get me to turn your portrait into like an NFT or something, and I just like absolutely refuse to touch that nonsense.
Or like there's like at dinner, you know, you say something that like, you know, because Roderick says something that's like off color or something like that, and you're like, Grandpa, what? You can't like, and then your mom is like,
I'm like,
yeah, just let him.
Yeah.
Does Roderick say something about my mom staring daggers at me? I think he does. I'd like him to.
Impressive that he notices. That's
because I don't think Jed's subtle about it, and I think that
we all notice.
I feel like maybe you also have kicked him under the table.
You accidentally kick Roderick, and that's why he's like, "What are you doing?"
Yes. So I'm going to add one to my own resentment.
Nice.
Add so much resentment.
of course. Amazing.
Gotta compete with your
Gotta
grandma.
compete. Let's go, Grandma.
Who can resent this man more?
Fight the power.
I mean, we can't have a clear open and shut case, too. So let's
We
go.
can't.
Sure.
No, yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. All right. I arrive at the house in a brand new luxury
seems on
car.
brand.
Who asks me
Wow.
how I paid for it? I think Sugar asks me.
Oh.
Because I think like mom and I have an okay relationship. We probably like disagree with some, on some things.
It's mostly about your father.
Pretty much. Yeah. And so I think mom already knows about the car and is not surprised about it.
No.
I don't even know luxury cars is the problem though. But it's not a Tesla because I hate Teslas.
Right.
It's
I
like a
mean, we
Ferrari.
could go one of the classic Ferrari or like Lamborghini,
Yeah.
like something,
Lambos.
Yeah.
or like a
The
muscle
gull
car,
wings.
or
you
like
know.
a vintage, like you
vehicle.
got like
Or
a
like the
Ooh,
classical like
Bugatti.
rich kid thing, which is like a Range Rover or something like that. Like
All wood.
some
Yeah.
big car. Yeah.
Yeah. Some
All wood
ridiculous.
interior.
Yeah, it's huge. It's enormous. Much more car than I need. So I think Sugar asks me how I paid for it, and I don't think I answer is the thing.
Ooh.
I think I'm just like, well, that's not any of your business, is it?
Is there something about the
how
car?
did you pay for it though? Did Daddy buy
Did I
it?
pay for the car? I think I don't tell anyone because he absolutely paid.
Okay, got it.
I think
But I
that
would never admit that.
Sure, yeah.
I wonder what Sugar's knowledge of the finances are. Like if she does know and she was
Yeah.
asking if you would like if you were
Yeah.
gonna say something about it.
No, I have this new influencer deal and I'm doing so well at it. And so,
Mhm.
I just
Nice.
got myself a new car.
And she's like, oh yeah, let's talk about that, and starts showing you her Instagram.
Yeah.
She's definitely an Instagram model.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. So was this a new car a surprise to you? Did you just get it out of the blue, or is this like, something that you got in exchange?
Oh yeah, like did you
interesting.
ask for it, or was it like a happy birthday, I got you a pony, and then now I got you this car?
And a car. The next
Yes.
portrait I'm going to
I
paint is you
think,
by the car.
We're just gonna add it in the
Probably,
background.
right? I think
Photoshop.
I'm a little bit embarrassed about the car, and this is why I don't tell anyone that Dad gave it to me because I was at dinner with Dad a while ago, and I made some comment about how one of my friends got this car, and I was jealous because it's such a nice car, and my friend won't shut up about it, and and then the next time I came over, like there's a literal bow on top of this Range Rover that it's like super tricked out and like all the options.
It's like the newest model too. Like your friend
correct.
got like a used
Yeah.
one.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
He clearly
and I think-
approves.
Yeah, he clearly approves. Obviously.
Obvi.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see how much
I'm
more
like
we can
having
add.
so much fun.
my
I love
resentment.
writing
Yeah.
like this and just like
Yeah.
chatting with you. Oh, this is such a good time.
I just
Okay.
developed a whole story about the car in my head, how it's an AI car, and it uses the dad's voice, and it talks to her.
Tells you how to get places.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
throws, in,
He's the
throws in
GPS.
like advice and stuff while it's
Yeah,
like turn
yeah.
left here. And also
if you
don't
go
forget
above
to
a-
call your father.
Or if it goes
Yeah.
above a certain speed limit, it's like, do you really think you should be going this fast?
Yeah.
Why don't you quit your job and move home? The patriarch has your favorite dish at dinner. What is it and who refuses to eat it? Oh boy. Friends.
boy.
Wow.
So I think
That's
that
rough.
it is this feels very Clue, like monkey's brains. I think that it is dessert actually, and I think that it is tiramisu, and that is my very favorite. And
It's like what you had at your wedding.
yeah, it's like
Yes.
it was a big thing, right? It was every time that like we would have some kind of celebratory something marked on anniversaries and little things. Because I'm gonna say it's like maybe the very first dessert he ever bought me on our first date, and
First
like,
date.
but like
It has this dessert has so much baggage.
so much baggage
Yes.
on this dessert. And I think Sugar doesn't eat it because I think Sugar hates coffee flavoring. Like she doesn't like coffee,
Doesn't
so
like
she
coffee.
doesn't. She will not eat it. And I think he's confused it. And so he doesn't remember it's my favorite. He just knows it's his wife's favorite. So
Right.
he ordered it for dinner.
Oh no!
Just like as like a reflex, or like he's the kind of guy who has like a chef on retainer, so that's like, can you make my wife's favorite thing? And he just like never updated it.
Correct. Yeah.
Ooh.
So
And that's what they fought about before dinner. Oh,
yes,
it's so good.
yes.
Or I guess in the middle when they went to get dessert, because that you didn't get here to the middle of the party.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're adding some resentment because like I think there was a moment of like, oh, it's nice. You know, he's extending an olive branch. I'm here with the kids and I'm doing stuff. And then he made a comment of like, hey, sugar, we made your favorite dessert. I'm like, it was just like a very awkward, because everybody knows at the table that it's like
and
very
she
clearly
just like sipped her like juice cleanse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think.
There's just
And like
this
ate
very,
like the cream.
very whole piece of tiramisu sitting on a plate in front of
Sugar just
Yeah. We're all
like,
just staring at
She's like
sugar,
smushed
waiting.
it around a little bit to like
make it look
like she's eaten, but it is the same amount that is on that plate. Oh my god, incredible. Okay.
Now I'm starting to feel uncomfortable during this
dessert.
imaginary dinner.
Speaking of
Oh my
dessert,
god.
Oh, nice.
It's moved into the next like round, right? This is what
yeah.
the next section. Cool.
Yep.
I keep getting to start them. That's fun. Okay, so the patriarch complains of a headache and retires to his bedroom for a short nap. It's from all the coffee in the tiramisu.
Whatever.
Telling everyone to meet him in his study in an hour to discuss his updated will. Dessert is awkward, and you move to the study quickly.
Why?
Who insists on reading the will before the patriarch returns? Interesting. Ask the character who insists on reading the will without the patriarch present to add 1 to their resentment. I think from what I've heard about everything going on here, I actually think that the person who's most interested in this is Jenn. I think that Jenn is the one that's like really, really pushing to like get this will read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that she is.
You know, Dad, he's just taking a nap. It'll be fine.
He's being dramatic. Like, we'll just get it done. I'll drive around in my car.
I think that Sugar's actually a little worried. She's like, he doesn't normally have to go do that. Like, it's like sometimes he took a nap this afternoon already. So like, this shouldn't be a problem. Like, but I don't want to bug him. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Is there with the naps, are you concerned that he's not actually napping and that he's like talking to a new person?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't think that that's a concern at all. I think that she is like genuinely like in terms of like
health concern.
Him napping during the day, she's like, you know what? Like he gets tired, but like maybe it's some new health thing or whatever that like because or like some medication that he like takes that he gets kind of drowsy in the middle of the day. So that's a pretty normal routine thing for them. And she uses it to kind of just like, you know, walk around or read or do her more workout videos or whatever, like, or she'll go to lunch with like friends or something like that. Like she normally is like, yeah, he's napping. I'm going to go do something fun, whatever.
So this time, did you go with him because you felt like a little worried? So during this interim, like the rest of us are kind of
I think she's a little annoyed at him right now. So I don't think that she goes with him because this is specifically happening with the whole dessert situation. So she's like, I don't want to go fight with him, which is probably what will happen if we go up there. But she is a little worried because she's like, well, he shouldn't be tired. And then she's like, probably waiting for an appropriate amount of time to go by before she asks someone who I assume there's help around, basically to like go check on him, and be like, hey, you know, everyone's waiting. Like, can you just go make sure that he's okay and bring him back down, you know, or whatever. So I think that that's the situation with all that.
All right. What's up, Buns of Steel? What's going to happen?
Oh.
Ooh.
The new will.
Ooh.
Who was previously cut out of the will, but is now inheriting the investment accounts? Why is that suspicious to me? Interesting. I think Sarah was previously cut out of the will, but now is inheriting all the investment accounts.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I know, that is a huge surprise because for the entire time I've known them, Sarah has been like openly judgmental of Roderick.
Yeah.
And Roderick seemed equally disdainful of her.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's because he's a dumbass. Like,
It is because he's a dumbass. And he just keeps ordering that tiramisu.
just stop it. Stop
Yeah.
it.
You say that like the one time that you and Sugar Pepper agreed on something, she's like,
Yeah.
he is kind of a dumbass.
He's kind of a dumbass.
He's just lucky he's so rich.
I know.
Such a nice booty.
Yeah, that's really all he's got going.
His
and now
butt's
in
really
his
good.
still
I'm a
in his
sucker for a
80s,
good butt.
still good. Impressive. Those tapes really worked.
They did. He does them every
You're
day.
telling me.
Still,
Right before his nap. He does it and then he naps.
that's why he needs a nap.
I begrudgingly admit that they're good. I don't want to admit it, but yeah.
None of the will cards have you changed resent, FYI. But
Okay.
we will get much more chances to change resentment after the will.
During the murder.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
So I kind of assume the investment accounts are doing well, though, right? Like
Yeah.
she's inheriting a lot of money, not like
Yeah.
Yeah, this is old money. This is money that's going to be around for a long time,
Yeah.
and like as long as no one like who inherits it runs it into the ground type of a deal.
Mhm.
yeah. She's not like inheriting a debt, like a margin call of like negative $1 million because you bet it all on like GameStop or Bed
The
Bath Beyond or
ponies.
something.
The
Yeah,
ponies.
ponies. Tesla.
He bought a whole entire
So many
racetrack.
ponies. He just
Yeah.
keeps buying ponies. He just like has a pony guy that he orders from. It's the same thing with the tiramisu. Like he doesn't.
Pony
He's not
guy.
Updating his lists.
Sugar's like, these horses really freak me out, and I don't know how to tell him.
So, we have a whole room, a ballroom full of ponies, and I don't know what to do with it.
I think they're cute. I don't want to touch them. They're way too big.
All right. The new will. Who inherits the house, and why is that disappointing to me?
That feels on
personally?
brand.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. It's absolutely Sugar. And I'm
Mhm.
pissed about it because I grew up in that house
Hmm.
and she's been here for like, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Feels like?
Yep.
Dad's
Yeah.
flavor of the week is getting the house.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I definitely was getting the house in the previous version of the will.
Yeah.
hmm
And you were worried that like Yang Yang was gonna ruin that for you, and that it's like surprise.
Someone else. ruined
I
it.
did ruin it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if there's more will. Let's find out.
Yeah.
What
I mean,
is
it's a
the
good thing. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. What is the thing no one wants to inherit, and who gets it? I think that the thing, the Buns of Steel tapes.
Okay.
Clearly, Yang Yang gets those.
Yeah.
No.
I think that the thing that no one wants to inherit is, I think he has a workshop that is filled with all of the projects that he got really bored with very quickly. All his other ex-wives are out there. No,
Whoa.
no, but I think it's like basically like a giant storage container full of junk. That has like he would like, oh, I'm gonna fix up cars, and he would get some junky cars and start working on them, and after like 72 hours be like, I don't really want to do that.
And then
know
the
how
model
cars
train
work.
set in
Yeah,
that
and, like,
workshop.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is now what Jenn is getting instead of the house.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Thanks, Mom.
I didn't give it to you. I'm still alive.
Okay. Who is not named in the will? What would they have gotten in the previous will? Interesting. So I'm assuming this has to be one of the players that is here, correct?
It should
It
be.
should
if
be?
it absolutely doesn't fit and it's funny that we can make somebody else up, like we can make somebody else up.
Well, I will say 2 people, actually 3 of us have all guaranteed that we're in this will. So I think that the last one there, I think Yang, I don't think you're in this will.
Grandpa!
I think
Did the exercises, Grandpa!
I think that you did previously get the buns of steel tapes. I think you also were probably you probably were the one that was going to get the workshop and like and anything that was like to do with the unfinished projects as well. So like, you know, like maybe there was maybe there's like an account or something like that is sort of like his like fun money account. That's like when I want to just kind of do something with this whole situation, I'll do this, and it's like a deed to land as well, you know, like, so there's like a little bit that you get with that, but it's like nobody really wants to deal with that because it's probably more trouble than it's worth. And so I think that that's what you were getting, and that basically just got bumped up to your mom and you got bumped out.
Yeah, I didn't even get the ball and chain. Like, I didn't even get the thing that's inconvenient.
Yeah.
I think my character is like even more upset. Like, at first he's upset with his mom for not like kissing up to Grandpa, and now he's like genuinely upset. And he's maybe like thinking about how he's going to like challenge Grandpa Roderick to some squats or something.
Some sort of buns of steel off.
Physical competition of physical feats.
Yeah.
How embarrassing for you if you lose.
Feats of strength. Here we go.
I'm gonna prove it to him. I'm gonna prove it to him that I deserve this. Right after this.
Yeah, but like,
whenever he comes back.
To be fair, when was the last time you did those buns of steel tape?
It's a while
Roderick's
ago.
on that every day.
Every day.
Every day?
You did it before you got here.
They do. Sugar and Roderick do this together.
Yeah, it's a bonding experience.
I'm gonna need to drink 2 Red Bulls.
Give me some energy drinks and some pre-workout. Can we put pre-workout into the energy drinks? I'm ready to go.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah. Well,
I'm ready to risk my life for this.
A lot is on the line here.
Yes, this workshop that nobody else wants. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Murder! You hear gunshots and rush upstairs to the Patriarch's bedroom. He lies in bed with several blood stains blooming on his chest. How many shots did I hear?
Oh.
Whoa. Oh, interesting.
14.
He had it coming.
He really hates him. Wait, how much resentment have you got right now, Sarah?
A lot. I don't want to
for
say
every resentment that we all have.
Collectively, that's gonna be a bunch.
Man, I'm gonna try to make it a spicier mystery and just see how it works. And we'll just say 1 shot.
1 shot.
Several blood stains, but 1 shot. We'll just see what happens.
Oh,
Interesting.
Interesting. All right. This is me. The Patriarch is dead. The police are called and they arrive swiftly as they process the scene. A detective who may or may not have a Southern accent, I'm just saying.
Maybe.
Who tells you all
who
to
maybe is
return.
dating Hugh Grant. We don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, exactly.
Impeccable little sweaters.
Yes. Tells us all to return to the dining room. The detective calls me to the study first. Why maybe is that? And what do I tell the detective about the family?
What happened here?
Yeah. I mean, I think of all of us, I'm probably the most likely to pretend that we are a very close-knit family who loved my father very much. I just don't understand what's happening. So I'm going to add 1 to my resentment because, I mean, he doesn't need to hear the particulars of the family drama.
Sure.
This
That's
clearly
not
was
pertinent to the situation.
Outside actor. Yeah, it couldn't have been one of us, obviously. So yeah, I'm just gonna.
I'm actually a little surprised you didn't throw Sugar under the bus immediately.
I wanted to.
I do.
I do.
Wait, detective. Actually, something's coming.
I re-enter the room.
Yeah, actually, is a card for that. You get called back.
Oh, what?
Great.
So that's fun. But no, I don't like. He just doesn't need to be informed of our family drama, I think. And my fear is that if I throw her under the bus, he's going to really start digging in and or it will make me look guilty. So I just pretend everything is fine.
Why did he bring you in first?
Yeah, of all the people in this in this house.
Yeah. I think maybe when the cops got here, like I think I was the quietest. I wasn't like wailing or crying.
Sugary's crying.
I wasn't trying to
she is having a whole
like
time.
Whatever. Yeah, I think I've just, Dad taught me to stuff my feelings in a bottle and ignore them.
Yeah,
so
he sure did.
Yeah.
He was a very healthy guy emotionally, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that made you a super distant mom.
Yeah, it was super great. It was super great. Not at all generational trauma. Not at all.
Not even a little.
Cool.
Because I drown my sorrow in Red Bull.
You should pre-workout and you're still
you're just aggressively squatting when the cops get there. And the cops are like, we don't want to deal with that. So
don't do it. We don't understand the youth.
That's going to be later. Questioning. Your relationship with another family member is not as stable as it looks. Why is that? I mean, yes, all of them. What do you tell the detective about?
Tell the detective about it.
Of all of the people, which one do you choose?
Who do I choose? It's not as stable as it looks. Well, which means that from the outside, it needs to look stable. And I think it's Jenn. I think it's my daughter. I think that she, you've always been his favorite. Like he would take your side over literally everybody in the family. And I think that, I tell him about that. I think, there was some changes and she's not that I'm throwing you under the bus entirely, but like, you also seem not upset. And I think maybe it comes out like, I don't understand why she's not, like, she was always his favorite. I don't understand why she's not more. She care? Yeah. Why does she seem like she doesn't care?
How did Jenn react during the divorce or like after the divorce?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think the answer to that is, I think I was fairly young when the parents got divorced. So like I was probably too young to decide, like as far as custody went.
Yeah.
But I think I always preferred Dad.
Yeah,
Dad
you
is the
did.
one who bought me presents.
I think you were. I think you were young enough at the time that I think probably that I did that thing that parents do, which is not super great, and like never disclosed Dad's flaws to you because I didn't want you to like see him negatively.
You didn't want to badmouth him. Yeah.
Right. So
what a fascinating thing. Can't relate to that. Oh no, it's too real. Anyway.
Yeah. So when I think it was probably a shock. Like, I think you probably don't understand when you grew up that I was like, well, actually he was a terrible person. And like, he has all of these issues. And you were like, but he was Daddy. Like,
yes, precisely.
Why didn't you tell me before if this was all true?
Right. Oh, it only comes out when he has another marriage. Okay. All right. What's up, new spouse?
What's up? You and the detective sit in silence as they wait for you to speak first. I think she's crying. I think that it's not silence. It is very she is like just
like loud sobbing,
inconsolable. There is definitely like a moment where like maybe when they initially come in that's happening and they like give her a pat on the back, like she's started to compose herself, and then there's like a little like consoling and she just kind of loses it and just like leans on them. It's like
she's already moving on to the next guy.
What do I blurt out that I shouldn't? Oh no. I have a really bad idea.
Do it.
Okay.
Love
Sugar's
it.
pregnant.
Whoa.
That's like what's going on with like all of that. So she's got a lot of like hormonal stuff going on too, and no one knows. And that is a part of why I think that's a part of why Roderick wanted to update the will as well.
So he knew.
I think he knew. Yes. Okay. I think it was enough that like he knew. And they were kind of like taking preparations of things and whatever. But they haven't told anyone yet, so it's still early on, and it's not noticeable yet. So
Interesting.
And
Which would make sense why she would get the house.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, all of my kids grew up here. I need all of my children to grow up
All of my
here.
kids need to grow up here.
Yeah, exactly. And I need to make sure they're all taken care of too. So yeah, and so I think, I think I'm going to subtract one. I think that feels on brand. It feels
Sugar's the favorite for sure.
Yeah.
well. Yeah, I mean, like Sugar
has like a -15 in her.
I think that I'm also confused that like eldest and middle child also have resentment. I don't know how that happened on this list. But
they all just start with one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I understand. I was like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
That makes way more sense. So yeah, so I think that that she is, it's just like the whole entire thing is that like she, through all of his flaws, like really genuinely fell in love with this man. Maybe they were going to therapy together, which is also a thing that they're not really talking about.
Oh, sure.
But she finally got him, like, and maybe it had to do with like when she got pregnant, she was like, look, like if we're gonna do this, like there is some stuff that we need to figure out. The relationships that you have with your other children are not healthy, and I don't want that to be the same situation. So we got to do this. And he was like, all right, you know what?
Is she working to try to like get him to repair his relationships with everyone?
I think to an extent, yes. And I think like there's a bit of and that's maybe why he sent out the invite for everyone for dinner. Like maybe it was Sugar's idea because he was just going to do it. And she was like, no, you should tell everyone like what's going on.
Were you hoping to also have it be you're going to have a sibling announcement party?
I think maybe depending on how things went, of like a hey, before everyone leaves, we just kind of need to let everyone know like what's going on. And I think also this kind of explains why he would have put his ex-wife back into the will. Because he's like, okay, I'm trying, this is like a part of like the reparations he's trying to do. And he's like, I really did her dirty. And so I'm trying to like, even in the ways that I can, or the ways that I'm willing to admit, which is basically financially, and at this point, not verbally, that like I messed up and I want to fix it. And so, and I think that also makes sense for why like Jenn is less in the will
100%.
also.
Yeah.
Because it's
like
I've
given you stuff your whole life.
Right. And I can't be like favoring you over everyone else. That's not fair. And you know, whatever. Yeah. So yeah,
interesting.
I think
love that.
He has a new youngest child.
He has a new youngest child.
And that too. Oh no. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Damn.
I want to point out that I've guessed it on Sarah's Table twice, and each time I've guessed it, one of the characters has made a surprise pregnancy announcement.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So this just continues.
So that's hilarious. I want that to be every single game that you ever have on Sarah's Table.
We just won't talk about it. We'll see how many.
And then when it happens,
you're like tick.
So far, 2 for 2. All right, let's see. Didn't I take a call during dessert? Why can't anyone confirm where I was?
Oh, Yang, your dream is again coming true.
Yeah, let's go.
You're like, yeah, let's go.
Oh, but I can't catch Grandma. It's so hard to catch Grandma. Okay.
You're so close. You're doing really well.
I'm trying so hard.
She had a huge lead.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have legit much better reasoning than I do. Way better.
Yeah. It's all right.
So, yes, I did take a call during dessert, or at least that's what I said. You guys heard my really obnoxious ringtone,
which is what?
Clearly. Man, I'm trying to think of like a rap song. Just Gangster's Paradise. It's just Gangster's Paradise.
But is it Weird Al's Amish Paradise.
Oh my God, it's Amish Paradise. And I love it. And I try to get everybody on board because I love Weird Al.
Every time.
You're wearing a Weird Al shirt at dinner tonight. We were all supposed to be like kind of dressed up, and you were like in a Weird Al merch.
Yeah.
You're wearing yoga pants though.
I got changed. I was just in it when you all showed up.
Yeah, and Roderick was never into Weird Al, and I just love it. Anyways, you guys heard Amish Paradise just blasting, and I snuck out of the room. And after that, I told everybody I was going to take the call outside in the workshop or the work shed.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever anybody looked, I wasn't in the work shed.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, we sent out for you because we were gonna do will stuff soon, and someone went to go grab you and you weren't there.
I sent you multiple texts.
So many texts. And you were on your phone. Theoretically, you should have gotten those alerts.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason why I didn't get those alerts and I wasn't in the workshop is because I had gone into the secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
The workshop.
Secret tunnel.
To the ponies.
to the ballroom full of ponies. Yeah, that feels right.
This weird pony speakeasy.
I feel like maybe Weird Pony Speakeasy is the name of this episode.
Love it.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
I kind of want to say that it's like a secret passageway up to Grandpa's study where I could have a private conversation with him because I really wanted to have a private conversation with him.
And maybe that's why you also heard the gunshots because you were close by.
Because you were doing that.
You did the murder.
No! Well, unproven.
All right. Well,
it's true.
At the moment, unproven.
All right. What secret was I keeping from the Patriarch, and how does the detective know about it?
Oh, nice. Excellent question.
I think
Love
the
secrets.
secret that I was keeping from the Patriarch, I think that he it's money, right? He had bought me probably a fancy condo, and then maybe I had a vacation cabin, and surprising no one, I'm actually not that good at my job, and so I was sort of renting the cabin as an Airbnb, and you know, sort of using these things that he meant for me to make money off of,
and poorly.
Yeah, not in a particularly profitable sort of way.
Cool.
And I think, when I see him, he's got the printout of the Airbnb page right there, so I can see it.
Right.
They're this is weird and interesting that this is this thing you do.
Yeah, about that. That's why I was thinking I would get more in the will.
Do you think he knew about it?
Dad?
Did Dad know about it?
I'm not sure. I don't think Dad was the really sort of paranoid investigatory type. I think he probably just trusted me to let him take care of me, right?
That's his first mistake.
Yes. Correct.
His second mistake is buying Yang Hing all of those guns.
But only one bullet.
Only one bullet. That's all you need. One's all you need.
He was if you're a good enough shot, you only need one.
It's it's like Pirates of the Caribbean. You walk around, you got one shot. That's it.
Yeah. Do not miss your chance to blow. What?
Why are you relieved the Patriarch is dead?
Wow.
I love how because of and I'm sure this happens with every game, but I love how all of the weird things that we've done, or whoever it is, when that person comes up with these cards, it's it's so good that you got this card.
Yes. Yes.
I think I am relieved that the Patriarch is dead, because I have tried multiple times to move on, just romantically and spiritually and everything. And every time I found a person that I thought I could be with, I think Roderick would ruin it somehow for me. And so I think I'm just tired. I'm just tired of like having to kind of parent this man still, even though he shouldn't be my problem anymore because we're not married. And like, I think there's like sort of just like this air of like resignation that is sort of always surrounding me. And I think that like I can kind of breathe again. And I think it's not hard for the detective to see that. That seems pretty simple. And like I came to this will reading to support my children. I assumed that I was still getting nothing in it because it would just be so like Roderick to like have me come to a thing to try to like twist that knife in even more, you know?
Is there like an additional layer where this investment that you're now getting, this investment account that you're now getting is like solving some sort of financial issue that you were having? Like, is this money meaningful to you?
How have you fared in terms of like either did you guys like you obviously didn't get a prenup because you had some kind of like, you know, separation of assets, as it were. So so like, how have you done since then? Like, did you have your own type of a situation?
Yeah,
are you still working even though you want to be retired?
Yeah, I think I had to go get a job. And I divorced early enough.
Which also made it so you couldn't spend as much time with your kids.
With my kids, right? Which was the whole argument of why it was easier for the lawyer to get, you know, I had to go work full time. And I think that I went from like living in a mansion, and being this like kept trophy wife to like scrambling for any kind of job that I could get. And I think I probably found a thing that I like. I think maybe she's like a librarian now. Like maybe she works like, you know, in the library and the children's counter. And like, I think it started as like I can't see my own kids. And so this is a way for me to still see children. And like, I think I just like kept at it. And I think I've scraped by very modestly often. And I think that there was probably a lot of upheaval with the kids going through. I see her as having 3 children, and like that as they got older, most of them, maybe not my youngest who can always sees daddy as the savior, but like that my older ones, as they got a little older, were like, oh man, he was really like,
not so great.
He was not great. That was not great. And we are sorry that we like took his side and like went with him. And I think so that there's been some help because dad still funds all the children. And so that there's some assistance, but like, I don't think she needs it, but they try to make her more comfortable.
Or like when they like get her like presents and stuff for like her birthday or Christmas, it's always something like, that's like really nice that she really needs.
Would definitely be out of her price range kind of a thing. Like I see it being like, you have a really terrible stove, so we remodeled your kitchen one year for Christmas kind of a thing. You know, like, and like I said, like, I think she's living a very like middle class sort of now, especially now that she's gotten older and more established in her career. I think she's okay. I don't think she had much of a retirement plan.
She was like, I'll just be a librarian.
I'll just continue to work until I die. Yeah. So I think
it's a nice job that I get to be around kids type of a deal. And it's nice, you know. And
I think she would probably continue to do that even with this like investment that she's getting. Like, this means that she can do it because she likes it and she can cut back on her hours and she doesn't have to work. Like, she can just like pay off where she lives and just like, I'll just live here forever, you know, for the next, 25, 30 years or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's where she's at. So she's
that's
just
so
like,
wholesome and touching.
I love it. It's so good. It's so real about just the way that life is.
But maybe she murdered her ex-husband. So we'll
maybe
find out.
Killed him.
We don't know.
She might have done a murder.
Yeah.
Wholesomeness aside. Okay.
It's always the wholesome ones.
Always the wholesome ones.
What ongoing payment did the Patriarch recently stop making on your behalf?
Oh,
what do you tell the detective about why you were cut off? Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Spicy.
What makes sense here? I think it had to have been something, some kind of membership to something. And like maybe she was a part of one of those like apps with famous people on them.
Oh,
And so like so she could go to like fun parties and things and whatever. And like explore the world and be like, yeah, I'm gonna fly to Milan next week and we're gonna go do this thing because I got this thing on my app and blah blah blah. And it's very expensive.
of course it is.
And I think that this was initially kind of like a bit of a conflict that they had that he eventually won her over on, that kind of started around like the baby stuff, because he was like, look, like, if you can't be going and doing all of this stuff, like especially like you can't be going out and drinking, you're pregnant. And like she's like, yeah, I guess that's true, but I still want to go see and do things. And he was like, we can go see and do things, it's fine, you just don't need this thing. And so she's like, fine. And she was definitely upset about it, because I think that there was a bit of like feeling important that came along with having it.
Like you were Roderick's wife.
Well,
you got
not
to go
just,
be seen,
right?
like, and having
not
that
even,
money,
and not even just that, but like also like, if she gets to hang out with all of these like A-list people that she wouldn't normally be around or have access to, and so, but like with this thing, she was able to be like, yeah, she bought her way in. That's basically what the situation is, and so she is sad about that. So yeah, I think that's sort of what happened with that whole situation. And that's what I told the detective too. I think that answers both questions.
Are you using the baby or any sort of leverage to try to get those payments to start happening again? Like, have you been actively fighting him to make him start again?
I think that she maybe has been more like, well, if we're going to do this, then I need some kind of stipend that we need to figure out, because, I'm going to need to be able to do this stuff and like, maybe like renovate this room for like a nursery and like blah, blah, blah. Or like, all of these, we need to get a portrait and like...
Call your portrait guy.
Those things. Yeah. So there are definitely things that she's like, well, now that this money's not going here, it needs to go somewhere else. That's also for her, just not in the same way. Yeah. I know that makes sense.
Okay, so let's see. Why was I fired from the Patriarch's company?
Yeah, that's true. That did happen.
I didn't want any of you all to find out. It was quite embarrassing.
Yeah.
So the real reason why I was fired from the Patriarch's company, which makes ponies, makes model ponies.
Model ponies?
I'm sorry. It makes ponies.
Makes ponies.
And model ponies.
Like, I can market this
and
desire that
ponies.
Young children have.
It's both ponies and real ponies and model ponies.
It's like a vertical business. He sells the model ponies in the beginning.
Okay.
And then slowly upgrades them over the years to ponies,
until they're a real boy.
Yes.
Got it.
It is one of those lifestyle subscription services, and he sells them to young girls around the world. Gets them hooked with the toys and the trading cards and the video games and stuff.
Yeah, there's a whole empire now. There's a movie probably coming out soon.
It's Horse Girls Incorporated.
There's a lot of money in that, actually.
A lot of money in them.
There is a lot of... I like to think that like the oldest child is like a daughter, and like she had expressed interest in a pony when she was younger, so he started this then. And then like she wasn't really interested in it, and then so he was like, okay, and then he did, like maybe had a son and he didn't care about horses, and so then when you asked for a pony, he was like, oh my god, yes, I have the exact
my
pony
time
for you.
has come.
It's right here. Yeah.
Yeah. And, maybe I'm wrong about this because I don't have any experience riding horses.
Great.
But part of his athletics career was that, he was a horse rider of amazing, impeccable ability, because his thighs and his buns were like, he didn't need saddles. Everyone else needed saddles. And he's like, watch this. I got this.
He's at a rodeo.
Yes.
Is he small? Is he like a jockey?
Yes.
We're the same
both,
height.
tiny. Yeah, we're both jockey size. And I was fired because he wanted to use me as a new model during one of these new product line pitches. He was like unveiling it, and he's like, "Look at my grandson riding this horse, the latest in one of
With
our
his
amazing
buns of
breeds."
steel.
Buns of steel.
This horse is so gentle and so easy to ride that
Oh, no.
you don't even need a saddle to do it. And so when he made the horse go, I fell off because I'd been lax on my exercise.
You have been lacking on your buns of steel. You
didn't
told
do
him
buns of
that you were
steel.
doing it every day, and so he's like,
told
he'll
him.
be fine.
Yes. I got cocky. I fell off. I ruined it. Nobody wanted to buy the horse because, it wasn't gentle enough to ride without a saddle. And so he fired me as the
What
spokesperson.
did you tell us the reason why you left the company though?
I told everybody that I was pursuing other opportunities. I was tired of being a company jockey.
Are
I
you
wanted to
as,
ride
quote,
for
unquote,
myself.
good with money as your mom is?
Oh no.
No. I think I'm worse. I think I have grown up
Even
with a
worse.
life. Yeah, I've grown up with a life where things have been handed to me. I've been working for this company. My mom has been emotionally distant, but she's always provided for me. I've had multiple
Good
safety
grandpa.
nets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in some ways, Buns of Steel is ridiculous, but I could have just done that to make him happy. He wasn't asking something insane, of me. Nothing too shady, but I didn't. And I thought I could just ride it on my own terms.
But you obviously could
Couldn't.
ride that horse.
Could not ride
Could
that.
not ride that pony.
No.
Too wild. Okay, +1 resentment. Yes.
Ding.
But yeah,
All right.
basically I told everyone I was pursuing my own thing, but you haven't seen anything come of that.
Haven't seen anything.
Did you tell your mom that? Or do I know the truth?
I think you probably know the truth and you're helping me save face with everybody
Okay,
else.
Cool. If there's one thing I'm interested in, it is saving face.
Saving face.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which means I
All right.
probably know too. Because you probably
Okay.
were like, how do
I
I
probably
hide this from dad?
Yeah, I wouldn't tell Sugar though.
No.
Sugar, I don't even know. She would only know if it was recent. Because she wouldn't really care otherwise. She's like, okay, well, he doesn't work there, so that's just that never clocks in her brain, nor would she care.
Yeah.
I also think that the vibe I'm getting from most of the family is that they're not willing to have everyone's very about saving face, including Roderick, and I think that Sugar is not about that. She's like, oh, is this a fight we're having right now? And he's like, Sugar, and she's like, no, and and so everyone has this whole that's a lot feeling about her, and that's
sure.
just with her bawling her eyes out and making a scene too. Everyone's like, yeah, that's Sugar, that all makes sense. So,
Love it.
Yep. She's crying again.
yeah.
A thing we've said 10 million times.
It's every holiday.
Listen, I have
Right.
feelings. I'm sorry
See,
that
here we
yours are
go.
repressed.
I'm called in for a second interview.
Yeah, you are.
What
Yay.
new information
Ooh.
does the detective have, and how does it incriminate me personally?
Ooh.
I think it's about my husband's company, which it turns out was failing. Would have been failing if it hadn't have been being bailed out by my father for a long time, probably. Maybe most of the history of the company, right? My husband had an idea, he was into it, and it looked like it was failing, and so Dad did what he always did. He bailed me out.
Does your husband know that?
And I don't think so.
You're like, I'll just balance
I
the books.
think-
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he thinks, oh, we just got this angel investor. They really believe in me. It's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you
And I
married
think-
a dummy.
I sure did. I mean, I'm a dummy myself, so it fits. And I think it incriminates me because that investment recently stopped because he wants me to stand on my own 2 feet, and that's never going to happen
because he's having a new youngest child.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Which I don't think any of you know about.
No,
we
but
don't
I mean
know
that's
yet.
probably
Not
why.
yet.
I just know that my father has like unceremoniously cut me the heck off. Right?
So how did
like, no
how
more
did
house
Dad?
for me? Like, my husband's company all of a sudden isn't getting its funding anymore. Like, I don't know what I did to piss my dad off, but he's real mad at me, and
But he
I don't
bought you a
understand
card
why.
to maybe apologize.
Maybe.
But
And you
only
still
you.
have
It's only your
like your
car.
vacation
Yeah.
home and like condo that's still paid for by him.
Yeah.
So he's not
Yeah.
he's not putting you out on your ass, but he is
fair.
he is like, okay, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
in
what
my
happened to
head,
my-
like, even the cessation of any funds that I
Right, of course.
expect, it feels like I'm being kicked out, even though I really very much am not.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
that indignant. Yeah. So how did my dad react to losing his company? Your husband.
I don't think he's lost the company. I think that we just lost the major financing of it. And I think he's super stressed about it. I think it's all he thinks about. And
Probably
that's
why he didn't
perhaps
come
why-
to dinner.
Exactly. Yeah, because
He's
he
like, I gotta
is,
work tonight.
hot on the sales trail, trying to make new leads or whatever. Yeah, and
He's trying to do the same industry but with frogs, which just like people aren't really as into.
It's because people don't
Correct.
ride frogs. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so
So like,
It's
what's
too
the
cutting
peak?
edge.
You get a toad, and everyone's like, okay,
great,
Yeah.
thank you, I guess.
Frogs are for licking, not riding.
what?
Anyway, weird pony speakeasy. Here we go. Who
Ooh.
done it?
So the way this card is going to work is Sarah gets to choose first, and she can do any of these, some of these things, depending upon what her resentment is. But if she wants, she can say, I'm innocent, or she can say, I'm an accessory, and then pass it to the next person. Or, she could just get away with murder because if my count is correct, she has the most resentment.
So close
much
to double
resentment.
digit.
So close
So
to double
close.
digits. Yeah, I mean, I think I got away with murder. I think.
I feel like you did.
You did the murder? That's interesting.
I did the
I'm
murder.
surprised.
But I'm gonna say we're gonna throw some Agatha Christie in here. I didn't shoot him.
Interesting.
Yeah, because
But-
there was the multiple blood spots, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that I like slipped something into his drink, which would have made him like probably expire in his sleep. That's why he had to
Dizzy or
go lay down to
lightheaded,
take
yeah.
a nap. And I don't know that I intended to kill him. I just was so tired of him. And just like, what if I just like, I want this dinner to be
away.
Yeah, and maybe it's as much as just like I want this dinner to be over with, and so
And
like
so
if he
were
has
like,
to
I'll
go
put
take
a little bit of a
nap.
sleeping pill
Yeah,
in there
like
kind of a
and
deal.
maybe it interacted with other medications that he's taking, which I no longer know about because I'm not the wife, so I'm not in the house. And so I think that I got away with it. I think he was dead before the shot went off. However,
You got away with accidental murder.
I think it was accidental murder. Yeah, I think she doesn't realize that she's actually the one that killed him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Am I next?
You can go, yeah, because we don't have
Or do we have
anybody.
to, do we not go in
like-
order or
No. I was gonna say we don't have anybody who looks guilty to the detective, so we can just keep going around answering these.
is there a way that like you look guilty? Is that like a
Well,
does
so with this card, right? So let's
Mhm.
pretend she passed the card to you. So you can claim innocence. You can admit to being an accessory. You can. I don't know what your resentment is. Is it positive?
It's like,
Yes. It's
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, so
My
you
last
can
one
admit
bumped
to
me up.
being the murderer, right? But you won't get away with it because you're not the
Right.
highest. So you
Gotcha.
get to decide your level of involvement in the shooting.
I
And-
think that if anyone here is innocent, I think it's Sugar. I think
100%.
I don't
Yeah,
think that she had any
agreed.
desire to do that. I do think that she like genuinely was like, we're gonna make it work and it's gonna be great and we're gonna live this awesome life and it's gonna be awesome.
Mhm.
I think she was very much so in that place. And like she doesn't really have anything to mourn in terms of like loss of the will either, because she's pretty taken care of. And so
Mhm.
it's really just that she's like upset that he's gone and not around.
Yeah.
Which
So,
we
yeah.
all think is fake. We continue
Yeah,
to like be like,
definitely.
what?
All think
yeah,
it's
we
fake
don't
forever.
believe it. I'm not buying it for a second. Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah. So I definitely think that she. So I'll claim innocence for her. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. I also think in my brain it's the most interesting if Jen's the person who killed her.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah. So that's where I stand on
I
that.
love the idea that she just like had a tantrum because you took away because he took away one stream of revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I will admit to being an accessory,
Hmm.
but not the actual murderer. I think I did sneak in. I managed to sneak into his room to confront him, where he was in sort of like a hazy, a half asleep stupor. And I was so enraged because I thought he was just ignoring me and like just hocked up on Red Bull and just full
Red
of
Bull,
rage.
it gives you wings.
It gives you
Yeah.
yikes.
I stabbed him with the VHS tape.
Wow, you had to hit him hard.
That's
with
very
that.
impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over and over until it like essentially was like shallow stab wounds.
Yeah.
And I
Rip it to
left
pieces,
him.
yeah.
And by the time my rage subsided, I realized he was lying bleeding on the bed. And I ran out of the room because in a panic.
Yeah.
Back into the secret tunnel. And that's when I heard the shot.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, about that.
I also
Um,
love that, like, it's even possible that you saw, like, your mom do it, but you're like, I'm not going to out my mom. So, and it would also out me. So that's why no one knew where you went. It's because you were like, well, if I say where I was, I'm going to incriminate my mom.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah. Ooh, do I leverage that against my mom?
Probably.
I mean, I think I'm exposed as the murderer here, right? I got a
Yeah.
lot of reasons. Frankly, after learning that I'm no longer getting the house, I've been cut off in a number of other ways. How am I supposed to deal with that and process those feelings? I've never, ever had those feelings in my life before. I don't know how to handle them. We don't do emotions in this family. We don't do therapy. And so I think there's perhaps another secret tunnel.
Mhm.
there's so
I
many
like to
secret
think
tunnels. In
It's
this house.
lousy
house.
with
Yeah.
secret
For
tunnels.
the kids, right?
It's so fun.
Yeah.
I think there happens to be I don't think he's a gun guy. I don't see him as a gun guy, but I also don't think I brought one to dinner. So maybe there's one around.
He probably like has one or a couple of like self-defense,
Yeah.
or maybe
Or, like,
Sugar has one.
Or like replicas, right? Like very
Mhm.
fancy
He
collector's
was shot
pieces.
with a musket. So.
Yeah. That's why there was only one shot. It's
Yeah.
too hard to
Oh.
reload it.
You're like, I have
Yeah,
to. It takes
or-
like 2 minutes.
Yeah, or like one of those starting line guns for like horse races. Those only have one shot, right?
Yeah.
That seems on brand.
Flare gun, just like
Yeah.
So he was also on fire.
So yeah, I think I probably ditched the gun in the secret tunnel, which of course eventually the detective finds, and it's got my fingerprints on it. And I am carted away as the villain.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of crying and lashing out because I can't help myself.
Because you're
That's the
finally
first
showing
time.
emotion.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, first
And
time
now
we've ever
it's
seen her
down.
show emotion.
And now
All
it's
of the
every
emotions.
emotion you've ever had.
All
Yeah.
of the decades worth of emotions. Yes,
Oh no.
correct. So at this point, we can do epilogues if you like, or we can leave it there mysteriously with my mother getting away with the murder I'm taking the fall for.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, you shot him.
You did shoot him.
You
You
did
had
shoot him.
intent. She had accident. So
Yeah. I don't know that she even, like, I don't think I even put together that anything that I did would have contributed to his death. Like, I think, you know, like, I
Mhm.
gave him, it's like,
sedative.
I gave him
Yeah.
like a, you know, just a melatonin, dude. Like, what is,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Give him like a Xanax.
yeah, right. Just like chill out. I think my character's epilogue is that she continues to work as a children's librarian, and I think she gets remarried to the nice gentleman that lives across the hall, and they move into an apartment together.
Does he
that
like
she's
visit the library? Like,
Yeah,
he's
I
like,
think-
I need to check out this book, and like that's sort of how he starts talking to
I
her.
think he used to bring in his grandchildren. I think he's a widower, and he would bring in his grandchildren, and that's where they met. And I think she has like a nice, quiet life, and tries to open her home to everybody. And I think, you know, she feels a lot of goodwill, and I think she is available to Sugar as a resource with the new baby. I think she sees
Ooh, wow.
Sugar's baby as one of her grandchildren. Like, you know,
Yes.
like
She's like, you're like, if my child had a child, that's fine. I don't know. I'm
You're
not
like
gonna
if-
think about
yeah.
this too hard.
although it's a little bit of that.
It's adorable. Just don't question it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think she ends up
I
good.
think that I was
Sleeps good
thinking
at
kind of a similar thing of like, in terms of like the baby stuff, like she would have probably, after this whole situation like died down a little bit, she would have like told everyone of like, because it was something that she probably couldn't hide anymore.
Sure.
And was like, look, like this is happening, you know, whatever. I'm sure that there was a lot of like angry
A
fights
trial.
and or like people who just like didn't respond and whatever. And then I think maybe like second or third trimester, when she's like getting nervous, she also goes to the library and is like, hey, can I just like talk to you? Or do you have like baby books that you can recommend or whatever? And she's like, oh no.
For Roderick Jr.
Yeah.
Oh,
RJ. And yeah, and so there's definitely that like whole situation going on with them.
I'm just a wholesome murderer. It's okay.
It was an accident. You didn't do it on purpose. Whatever. Which is also on brand for Knives Out. Spoilers?
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Nice. Yeah. So I think Yang. So I think that afterwards he sees his mom break down and show some emotions, and he realized that like he himself, like he sees the link with like the rage that he was feeling, and he recognized that he got away with one because he also like stabbed Grandpa
So many times.
so many times. It's Red Bull. Just don't drink more than 3 in one sitting.
He is like, I don't drink energy drinks
You
anymore.
like down
Yeah,
like
no.
3 Red Bulls and then like destroyed a VHS tape into someone's chest.
Yes. I feel like
there's a lot to unpack there.
So
yeah.
much.
My character was living a different genre than the rest of you. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, then afterwards he gets some therapy and he starts visiting his mom in jail or at the courthouse. And he confides in her, you know, what he did, and they begin to bond over their shared experience. And you know,
Bonding over murder. That's also wholesome, cute.
Killing Grandpa.
We did it together. They like put their hands up in between the glass.
Yes.
Yeah, I do think that I go to jail for this.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, being probably like a, you know, mid 40s or early 40s white woman means that I don't spend that much time in jail. But I spend
that
long enough.
I give you money for good representation. She has enough.
I was going to say, I do think that it's drawn out long enough that husband's company is toast.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
And that relationship blows up because he's mad that I never told him that daddy was investing in the company. And
he's like, you didn't
So,
believe
yeah,
in me,
so I
and blah
think-
blah blah. Yeah.
the jail sentence is, maybe like 2 years or something. That's really a lot shorter than it should be.
Yeah.
That's
so
way short.
not any
Yeah, you get
time.
out on good
Yeah.
behavior and
Yeah. But by the time I get out, my whole life has been blown up. And I have to get a job.
Oh, man.
Applebee's also, because you're
Yeah.
definitely a felon.
Yeah.
So
But in the meantime, your story has hit the news and your NFT has blown the F up.
well, and I absolutely think that they make a Netflix limited series about this.
Totally.
About our family.
This right now, what we're doing is actually all of us telling the story.
Yeah.
about what happened.
And then there's dramatic reenactments, and they have, yeah,
Sugar performs in her own reenactment.
sure.
She reenacts it.
Yes.
Oh,
I like to think
dead
that-
after dinner.
We did it.
oh.
We got
Yay.
dead
Sorry, I
after
interrupted.
dinner.
No, what did
Yeah,
we
we
all got dead after dinner? What were you gonna say, Yang Yang?
I'd love to think that the reason why Jenn started crying during the arrest is because as she passed her car, like some quote from the dad like played that like just got her at that moment.
Like the alarm of the car goes off, but it's all just him talking like, please get away from this car. I will call the authorities.
And she's like, oh,
Oh, daddy.
Oh, sad. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And I think that on Sugar's part too, she would try and like have some kind of a relationship, because she's like, this is technically, your brother or your sister or whatever.
Yep.
And everyone would be like, weird, but like after a while they'd be like, okay, like it kind of like a niece or a nephew, like you would be like, oh, cool,
But would you invite back the one that shot him?
No, I would not. I don't think that
Not
they
the
have a good
youngest.
relationship. Not the
Okay, good,
youngest.
good.
No. I don't think that I don't know if she
Don't think
knows
we
about what
speak
happened with
again.
Yang Yang, but I think that Sugar put a restraining order on Jenn,
That feels
Yeah.
correct.
which is
Yeah.
also kind of sad because like she can never go to her
Her
childhood,
childhood
home
home.
again. But like she's like, no, I don't want you near me or my family. So like, and also here's the painting. That's the thing that you get from her when when you get out of jail, is she sends you the portrait that he painted of you.
so
Probably
I think,
the multiple portraits. There's probably
There's probably a couple, yeah,
all over the place.
and like
She stayed in my tiny studio apartment.
she probably thought about burning them and maybe did with one, but then was like, no, I shouldn't do that. That's bad. And then was like, all right, fine. Here's like a storage facility of all of this like random crap.
of your 32 portraits that he had
Yeah.
painted of you throughout.
we could turn them all into NFTs. They're selling like hotcakes now.
So yeah.
Just one more reason for you to just like continue to like you invest everything into cryptocurrency. You're like, this is gonna do it. And
This is gonna do it. It's gonna take
Yeah,
off.
nothing could possibly go
To the
wrong.
moon, baby.
What could go wrong? All right, friends. Hey, thanks for playing Dead After Dinner with me. Let's do our moments of gratitude. What stuck out during the game that was great?
So much.
So much.
Thank you to Sugar for surprise being pregnant, because that really made a bunch of things fit in a really cool way.
yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah.
that card was so fun because it was like, what do you blurt out? And I was like, okay, cool. So she's bawling her eyes out and just starts bearing her entire soul to this man. And so just starts like being like, well, it all started with this thing and blah, blah, blah. So she like says like all of the dirty laundry of the family, it's aired. Like you were like, how did he know
Yeah.
to look into this thing or this thing? It's because Sugar told him.
Yeah.
It's because Sugar told him literally everything she possibly knew. And yeah, and it was like, what's the most dramatic? Young, new, like hot new spouse knocked up.
Love it. Love it.
I had such a wonderful time with this game. I think that it is like well done on it. I really thought like I've never done one of these kinds of games. I was worried that it was going to be like weirdly dramatic in like not a fun way, or especially because I didn't know the like two of you going into it. But it sets up like a really fun situation. It's really like collaborative and like casual. So I feel like I could play this with my friends, just like whipping out this game, but also I don't know. I just love like the fact that you have all these like really wonderful narrative moments that you get to write together. It's just like really cool.
And I feel like if you wanted to as a group, you could take this way more
way more
like,
seriously.
way darker and grittier and edgier and like
which I also love.
More
because I'm
disturbing
very
if you
edgy.
wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which is great. Or you could do something that's like a lot more like Clue and is all very quirky.
It could be centered on Buns of Steel.
That's the third expansion.
Yes. I would say like I loved everybody's like generosity and flexibility. I thought everybody played off each other like super well. And I love the overall feel that we were like, it's almost like we were like describing a great movie that we had seen together to like a mutual friend or something. Like, remember this? And remember that?
Oh, and that part where this happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that this just like nailed that sort of feeling. And there was no like pre-agreement, like, oh, this is the tone we're going to go in with, et cetera. We sort of just like figured it out as we went. I really enjoy, Jenn, thanks for just rolling with like being my mom. Like, just sort of.
I love that.
Yeah, we just made that up on the spot.
So good.
Yeah, and Sarah, I loved how you like rode that line between like being catty with Sugar, but yet also like I felt like you two really developed a real
really
connection.
Weird, complicated relationship.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys had a real deep arc. Like,
yeah.
I'm very compelled by the
Robust.
storyline. I would watch this movie and be very invested in it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yes, that is narratively satisfying.
Yeah, because the post-credit scene would or the mid-credit scene would obviously be Sugar coming in hugely pregnant into the library.
Yes.
And like, are they gonna talk to each other?
And like there's definitely like she goes to the children's section and is trying to get a book, but she's also like 8 months pregnant, so she's like, okay.
can't get down on the
Yeah.
Like, and then another mid-pregnancy, mid-credit scene would be you visiting Jenn in jail, then the two of you having a conversation about
and it being like weirdly wholesome, but also like the context of the situation is like, cool, we did a murder together. So I don't know how this scene's supposed to make me feel, but I kind of like it.
Thank you all so much for just like being here and being open and willing to just like, so this is another situation where I've gotten to a point in Sarah's table, and I would apologize for it, but again, I'm not going to, where I just message my friends who are gamers as well. And I go, I need you to be here at this time on this day. Just show up. I'll tell you what we're playing then. And nobody has any prep going into any of my games, because generally they have about as much prep time as I get. And that's usually, because I'm doing a new game every week with the switch over time, I'm probably only getting a couple days notice of what it is I'm going to play and what we're going to get to do. And so like, I really have stopped even telling people what game, and I'm just like, I just need you. You could just be here at this time. Thanks so much. Here's the Zoom link. Okay, love you. Bye. And so like, I just am so grateful that people are still willing to do this and like willing to come on more than once. Like that they after the first time of me doing that to them, they're not like, well, I'm not going to do that anymore.
It's definitely like you get this text from Sarah, and she's like, hey, this time. This is what we're doing. Are you available? And it's like, yeah. What game are we playing? And no response. Don't worry about it. And then you get an email that's like, this is a Zoom call. Please be there 15 minutes early. And it's like, okay. And it's like, cool. What is this game?
What should I bring? Do I need like dice?
Like, do I need cards? Do I need to be dressed up? Like, what's happening?
Nobody knows. Pew, 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 pew. I'm really just flying by the seat of my pants and making it up as I go. And I appreciate that everybody is so willing to just like, okay, I'll be there. Thank you. Because that
you know what I love about it? You know what I love about that feeling? It's like buying that little like black box from the game store, and you don't know what it contains, but you know it's going to contain a good time. So you just get together, and I know you're good people, Sarah, and you would only like invite me to groups with good people.
Good,
so
I tell you what, the new tagline for the show is that Sarah's table is the blind pack of RPGs.
Yeah.
That's what you get. You're just
Yeah.
like,
That's
who
so
knows what's
good.
going to happen when you open
Love
it
it.
up?
Also, well, like what a testament to so many of these RPGs that it's like, hey, you know what? You want a game that's really easy to onboard? Here you go. No one on this stream knew anything about it before we started streaming.
Yeah.
So, except for I guess the game designer.
Yeah, I frequently
I know,
have me and the game designer and a couple other people just like ta-da. But you know, often sometimes I can't get the designer on, and I'm just like figuring it out as we go. And that's part of the mission of the show, right? Is to show you that like new RPGs are not a scary thing. Like if all you've ever done is play D&D, that's awesome, but like there's a whole bunch of other ones and you don't have to be super intimidated by these other RPGs. Like, you know how games work, right? You've played games. You know that there's mechanics. You know how to read. Like, you can figure it out. Well, all right. You know how to be read too. Like that's, you know, it's all the same thing. But yeah, so you just keep throwing those spotlights on folk that aren't getting all of that extra money behind them, and then we're gonna hopefully give you a little bump. I don't know that we have a big bump, but I'm gonna try to sell it a couple times for you.
Appreciate it.
Of course, I'm just so
I want to buy it.
I know it's
Yeah.
There's,
It's
I want to play
there's
this
that
again.
at least.
I'm gonna play this with my friends.
I'm like,
Yeah.
physical copy when? Because I will bring this everywhere.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
I would be. This is I think would be great to take with you to a convention. It wouldn't take up a lot of space, and you know that you're going to be there with friends that you don't see a ton, and you want to have a game that you want to play, and like you could fit this in your pocket and then be like, who wants to kill the patriarch now? Which is
Yeah.
how I start every conversation. So
Drama at a
fits
dinner
for it.
party is what a brand. Love that.
Right.
Love
Yeah.
that. Very fun.
Yeah, it's good. Let's go around the table. Let's tell everybody where you can be found on the internet, and if you have anything coming up. Yang, what about you?
So hi, I'm Yang Wang. You can find me on Twitter for as long as it exists at Two of the Yangs. But really, you can find me hanging out on the Dungeon Scrawlers Discord. I don't know how to give everybody a link, but if you either search up Dungeon Scrawlers on twitch.tv or somehow, or if you go to my Twitter and message me, I will give you a link to the Discord. We have a bunch of writers, including some ex-Wizards of the Coast writers who have written some tie-in novels for Dungeons & Dragons, and we talk a lot of TTRPGs, books, movies, TV shows, all kinds of geeky goodness, and I play on a live stream on that Twitch channel every Wednesday, including this Wednesday, where we're doing our season finale, and we'll be giving away a set of Norse Foundry dice, and we'll also be giving away a full set of a wonderful book series called The Tea Princess Chronicles. But now I just realized this is about to air on Friday.
This happened
so-
in the past.
This
Sit-
happened.
listen,
This past Wednesday, so you missed the giveaway.
you missed it.
fools.
It was amazing, and you missed it.
We gave all that away, and
But
it was
next Wednesday, something
fan-fantastic.
really cool is going to happen, right?
Yes.
For sure.
Yep.
They'll be playing this game again.
Just keep coming back is what I'm saying. Just keep going back. Faye, where can we find you?
Hi, hello. I am Faye. On the internet, I am normally known as Mendari, which is spelled Mendarii. And I predominantly make content for 5th edition. I do a lot of mechanic design and like new rules and stuff like that. But I also do a lot of like world building for my own setting, which is system agnostic. I do a lot of that on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Mendari. You can find me on basically any platform underneath that handle as well. And I am about to launch a Kickstarter.
Do it.
So the pre-launch page is up now, because this is the future.
Yes.
So the pre-launch page is up, and it will be launching in the coming week. So definitely come and check it out. It is it's a part of Zine Quest, and the title of it is Path of the Immortal, A Guide to Ascension, which is basically a pocketbook manual for how to include ascending to become a god or a lich in your tabletop games. And it is system agnostic, and it just kind of is supposed to be a little help for game masters and players alike, if that's some like high tier level play or low tier, you do you, that you want to get into. So
I would like to be a god at level 1. Thank you so much.
thank you very much. Yes. Good.
This is how you can do it.
The
Yes.
end. Red, Jen, tell us where we can find you, what you got coming up, where we can get this game, what your favorite
Yeah.
color is.
Sure.
Okay.
I am Jenn Martin. You can find me on Twitter, again, as long as it lasts, at 10penjen. There's 2 N's in my Jen. Or 10penjen.com. That's where you can find a bunch of other links. I'm jenmartin.itch.io is where you can get this game. I also have another Descendant for the Queen game, which y'all might like, the 3 of you, called Reunion. Same sort of mechanics, but you are a group of people who used to be a pretty tight-knit group, and you lost touch, and now you're coming back together. My favorite of the groups that I've played has been like mech pilots. That was fun.
Whoa.
Yeah,
you
that was
were
a lot
the
of fun.
Power Rangers.
We were the
pretty
Power
much.
Rangers.
Yes, correct.
And now it's
and that
it's
one's
the
got,
15-year reunion.
Yes. Yeah. So that's fun. And I have a few things coming out this year. I think Apocalypse Keys is shipping. I did some editorial work on it, and I also have a stretch goal that I just finished, and I'm so excited about it.
Yay!
It has an octopus alien in it.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. And I think Xenolanguage, I had a stretch goal in that book that will be coming out this year, as well as my friend did the Zone RPG, which is like Annihilation, Stalker. Yeah, it's very cool. Playthezonerpg.com on that one. So I have a bunch of like really beautiful, flashy projects coming out this year that I'm very excited about.
Awesome. Cool. So my name's Sarah Moore. You can find me on Facebook at Actor Sarah Moore, and you can find me everywhere else. So that's Twitter, Instagram, Ko-Fi, TikTok at Pixies and Pins. I think I also have a Hive. I think I also have a Mastodon. I don't really check those very much, but everything's Pixies and Pins. You can go to my website at pixiesandpins.com. You can check me out here every Friday night at 5 p.m. Pacific or 7 p.m. Central on twitch.tv/GenConTV. Next week, we are going to be playing Chew, which is based on the comic series Chew, where you are a zombie and maybe a private eye and you eat stuff to learn memories. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird.
What's that one TV show set in Seattle? Female zombie foreigner. iZombie.
Yeah.
Never saw it, but I know what you're talking about.
You know what? It was super fun. I like Rose McIver a lot. I like her she is now on a show called Ghosts, where she can see ghosts. And she like has inherited an old mansion that they turned into an Airbnb, and she can see all the ghosts.
Yes, that looks hilarious. I haven't seen it yet.
Super fun. I really dig it.
I love the mood of us all being like, what's that one thing that this is like the second time this has happened?
Because it very much feels like we're just sitting around as a group of friends, just like that's what the game felt like to me too, is just like just us hanging out, chatting about stuff. So if you want to have that feeling, you should buy this game.
Yeah.
Go buy it. I mean, you can play it for free, but also throw some money at Jen.
What if you bought it also?
What if you bought it?
Yeah, we'll make more games.
And then she can make more games where you can be a
all the
reunion
expansion packs
of the Power Rangers
mentioned tonight.
Yeah. So whoever was keeping track of all of those, please email me.
Yeah.
Let me know. Anyway, the next game that Jen is making is called Weird Pony Speakeasy, and it will be out this year. So make sure that you're
launching in March. So
it's happening so soon. But hopefully we'll get everybody back. Maybe we'll get this same group back together in a few months and do reunion. And we'll see what happens. We're the reunion of these characters.
Whoa, meta. Multiple levels of meta.
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
It's like 15 years in the future.
It's gonna be good. It's like the reading of my will now.
The matriarch.
It's time. Oh my god. Okay, listen, I can't be stopped. Anyway, thank you all so much for being at my table. Thank you at home for watching. I would like to thank Gen Con for giving me the opportunity and this platform so that I can continue to spotlight indie and small Publisher Games. I would like to thank Peter Atkinson for pretty much always just saying like, hey, just do whatever you want. I'm sure you're great, which is pretty wonderful as a feeling. Thank you to Marcus Mays for always making sure that our streams are running very smoothly. I would like to thank my partner, Jeff Moore, who is the one who edits everything together and generally tries very hard to keep me a sane person. He has a hard job. Anyway, I'm sure that there's more people that I could thank, but really just assume that I thanked you, please. I feel gratitude for you, for all of you. So thank you so much again. And as always, keep making art and keep being art. We will see you next time. Mwah!